Loneliness isn't just being alone. It's feeling invisible in a world that doesn't notice you're fading. Welcome to Chapter 3, Loneliness. Loneliness is a painful experience. Is it just the emotion, like being around people but still feeling alone? Or the fact of being alone? No one around you. I'm sure everyone knows what it means to be alone, so I won't rant about that. Instead, I'll focus on the emotional significance. This is a tough question because the actual emotion can stem from many different types of feelings. However, they all seem to point in one direction: depression. This doesn't mean we can simply take some antidepressants and things will get better. Why? Because it's not always just a self-inflicted reaction to what's happening around us. We can feel lonely through many different things, like feeling misunderstood, feeling like no one can understand what you're going through, feeling like no one can support you the way you want, etc. This affects us emotionally and weakens us greatly. This translates into other emotions, like easily crying, reacting disproportionately to certain situations, but also lashing out at the first person who contradicts us. It can affect us physically, like restless nights, lack of energy, and even the inability to function. Our primary reaction to this is guilt. We blame others or ourselves for the situation we're in, sometimes even both. We blame others because they don't seem to want to understand why we feel lonely or accept that we do. We blame ourselves because it seems like we can't measure up to others. It seems like in the end, we've dug ourselves into a hole or been put into one that we can't seem to get out of. We seek answers around us, something that will make us understand why we feel this way and why it seems like we can't get out of it. We desperately try to find the answers to the guilt, but can never seem to do so. Why? Because we end up trapped in an endless loop. Since we don't have the answer, we always go back to the question: why do I feel lonely? I don't think this has a true answer. After all, many things can cause it. Autism, depression, etc. can be the main cause. Even overreacting can. However, true friendship can get us out of here. But also finding one that not only is like you, but also has found a way to not only live with their condition, but also found a way to live better. However, sadness and even fear can block us from the outside world. This makes it difficult to express oneself honestly to others, for fear of not being understood or being hurt in the process. I've lived my life mostly alone, not so much when it comes to friendships, friends, or family, but more in the sense of understanding. I've always had a strange way of thinking and things that occupy my mind. This has caused many misunderstandings and loss of friendships. Always having to change my way of being and thinking to find a way to communicate with the world around me, which often causes conflicts within me, because it's not who I am. In the end, I disconnected to avoid causing myself trouble, but that's exactly what ultimately led to being alone. So, is there an answer? How do we live with it? How do we get out of it? No, I don't think there is an answer. We can live with it, but I don't think we can really get out of it. So, what do? One step at a time. We end up where we started because we try to make a leap to the answer, a leap to freedom. However, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Take it easy. To find understanding, acceptance, and those who can make the feeling more bearable. We can never truly get rid of it, but we can find ways to manage it and live with it. We must open ourselves up to the outside world, but do so calmly. step by step. Release your emotions slowly, telling others in small portions why you feel lonely. However, don't get a big truck and dump it all on their doorstep, or you end up in the same situation again, maybe even worse than before. Tell the people you're with the little things they do or look for that will make you feel better. Try to gradually make them understand what you're looking for from them, and at the same time, do everything you can to find a stable level to stand on. Cry if necessary, but you must laugh. Set your fears aside and delve into what seems to be a total darkness to find that light. When you fall, understand that it's part of the process, and don't let you depress you. Get up and move on, not because of what we've lost, we can never get back, but because we can find new things that give us reason and purpose. For one day, they may bring us that happiness we felt we lost forever. Keep going, even if you don't find anyone who understands you, because someday you might find one. If you choose to seek them out, keep going. Be strong and live, because that will be your only way out of loneliness. Loneliness isn't just emptiness, it's weight. But every step forward proves you still carry light. Even if the world doesn't understand you, your story deserves to be told. One step, one voice at a time. If you ever felt alone, your words matter here. Tell us in the comments, when did you feel most understood or most invisible?